Oh, hello there, and welcome to my third QA. Sorry this one took so long to get out. I put the prompt out for it about a month ago. A little background on that. If you haven't caught it in my other videos, or found it on Twitter, when I describe what happened. So basically, every time I do a QA prompt for a video, or a QA prompt for a QA video, I'm retarded. Uh, I will let the thing run for a couple days maybe, and then I generally unlist the video. For whatever reason, this time or the last time that I did that, I unlisted the video and all my comments fucked off and went away. So then I had like, oh shit, I lost it all because I hadn't screen capped or taken screenshots of the questions at that point yet, and then I basically had to drop another QA prompt. So in the meantime of that, I had someone very close to me uh, pass around I think the third of this month. So that's been something different. I came home. I came back to the state that I'm from originally. I wasn't going to come back here after I got out of the military, but we're kind of entering the point where I'm a little bit older. I just turned 35, so a lot of my grandparents are all in their late 80s, early 90s. My parents are in their mid 60s now. Um, but I knew that I should be home for when these people that were very critical in my development and just real centers of the family. That I should probably be here for that, for when they die. And I mean, it's been like dominoes the last couple of years, and the one that just happened recently is probably the one that hits me the hardest. Because this is a person that was I spent as much time around this person as I really did my parents when I was younger, and even somewhat later in life. And in a lot of regards, this person was almost my best friend in various ways. So it hasn't been great. Honestly haven't felt like doing a whole lot up until like you'll see this little burst of activity from me when it comes to the channel recently. Uh, I think I'm kind of getting out of control right now. I did the serious mouse video, and then I did the fucking the Lancer thing, which ended up being like 4 hours. But yeah, it was stuff that that I was interested in, and it was a way for me to get back into doing the things that I like to do, and to just kind of grieve, but move on somewhat. So yeah, so that's pretty much honestly, there's a reason. Augustino, I know, keeps asking me about when's the fucking QA. Well, I've had some actual like real life stuff going on. So and for whatever reason, like I haven't really had the energy or like the drive to sit down and do this. But here I am finally. So we're gonna start. Uh, as usual, I'm gonna read. I have them all in a folder here on my desktop that's been sitting here for a month now. Every day I just get to look at it. Yeah, I created this folder Thursday, August 4th. So this folder with all your questions has been sitting for almost an entire month. So great job by me. But anyway, since Augustino is the one who constantly asks, his question is conveniently the first one up. And Augustino's question is, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so infills, shotguns, air to ground, maxes. Which do I find to be the most annoying to deal with? For me, it's the order in which I listed them. So he finds infills more annoying to deal with, shotguns, air to ground, maxes. Well, for let me answer the first question first, because there's three questions here. Because you guys love to cheat and ask multiple questions. It's one question per person. God damn it! I guess that's my fault for answering the multiple questions before. But anyway, it really doesn't matter. Dealing. I'm gonna focus in on the dealing with thing here. Infills. Infills, I think, are pretty easy to deal with. Because most of them are bad. Uh, they're they're really annoying. Yeah, shotguns. Shotguns are not annoying to deal with. Shotguns are oppressive to deal with. Because one guy that decides that he can't play the game normally, and he needs to do half the effort to use a weapon in the game and be rewarded with twice the damage output. Um, that's pretty oppressive in terms of the various forms they come in. Probably the most annoying shotgunner is the light assault. It's the guy that's fucking ambushing and going into the surface, going into the floor, uh, going into the wall at 100 miles an hour. And then I just had this conversation yesterday with Deeg. Uh, the guy's going 100 miles an hour. Let's say he's going left to right on you. And he hits the wall. But in this game, when you're moving that fast, and this engine just doesn't play nice with fast movement. But when he hits that wall, there's a chance his like a quarter to a half of his body is going into the wall, because that's just the way Forge Light is. So I have about, I don't know, 4, 5, 600 milliseconds to pretty much do everything perfectly on this guy. So if he's up at some off angle, some weird angle, I need to track directly to him. I need to be on his head. I need to have perfect recoil, perfect first shot multiplier control, perfect cone of fire burst. And I need to do everything perfect. Or there's greater than a 50-50 shot that I'm just dead, because he's gonna put a giant circle on my body, and he's gonna hold mouse 1 or smash his mouse 1. So that's pretty fucking oppressive. Shotgun. I've thought about like doing a more up to date shotgun video, because I do have a video related to shotguns on the channel. It's from 2018, I think. It's the picture with the Neanderthal on the thumbnail. And that was a video. That was a video that I did about Hedge, or hey, I don't. It's some weird Nordic fucking shit name, but he was a Connery shotgun main. And I did a video in 2018 responding to a video that he did in like 2016 or 2015 or something. So maybe I thought about, because the anti shotgun, you still see, it's weird, you still see people of the opinion that come out and say that shotguns are okay in this game, or there's nothing the matter with them, or there's nothing, it's just a bizarre. People that say that shotguns are okay in this game are normally either extremely casual, players who don't know what they're talking about. Number two, they don't play FPS games, and if they do play FPS games, they play at an extremely casual, low skill level, or they just don't have any experience in playing like a lot of different games, and seeing like shotguns are. There's not many games that do shotguns appropriately, but what your shotgun can't really be, and I think the Battlefield series is definitely guilty of this, because they can't balance a fucking shotgun for the life of them. Destiny shotguns are I think one of the only I think one of the only games that has ever really done shotguns right is either like CS or Maybe the early Halos to an extent. The shotgun in Siege is pretty. It's pretty up and down. Like the SAS fucking shotgun, you can get mapped by that thing at like 15 meters. Sometimes it feels like, or sometimes you need to hit somebody like 4 fucking times with it, and it's pretty inconsistent. But that's the nature of it. But anyway, I was thinking about. I went back and watched that video a few times, and I was thinking about doing like an updated shotgun video, but I feel like the first one is it's not the best like quality, and it's like the recording is kind of meh, but I think the key points that I tried to make in that video are still extremely relevant. So maybe like freshening it up and putting a new coat of paint on it might be nice, maybe. But at the same time, it's like with these PlanetSide like gameplay, like talking about design of the game and stuff videos, like it's so hard to be motivated to do that kind of stuff because at the end of the day, it just doesn't fucking matter. That's my cat fucking running like a horse. That's just what she does. But anyway, I've gotten way off track here. But yeah, shotguns are still to this day extremely oppressive. When I campaigned for the nanoweave removal for as many years as I did, the deal was never, hey, we're gonna take nanoweave out of the game. That was predicated on you're going to actually address like some other stuff, because you would take just taking nanoweave out of the game. Like people always used to straw man me with this, that Lex, just removing nanoweave won't fix the game, and I'm like, I'm very aware, but it's a good starting point. Now you have a starting point, and one thing that Rel and friends fail to do over and 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 over again, that you guys that come out and defend him on this shit, they never follow up on what the fuck they're supposed to be doing. So all the phase 2 stuff, which they don't even want to acknowledge or talk about anymore, there's systems in the game that desperately need a phase 2 or anything done to overhaul them. And with the whole nanoweave thing, we saw stupidity at the end of last year when they decided to leave it in the game and then put a speed debuff on it, or movement speed debuff on it. And then it took 6 to 8 more months of beta testing by your community to still come out and say, "Hey, you're stupid. What are you doing? Take it out of the game." And then they finally relented and took it out of the game, but no one ever said buff shotguns. Now, granted, the removal of nanoweave was going to strengthen shotguns. Yeah, that was a downside, definitely. In the 14 million futures that I looked at with the time stone, shotguns were going to be stronger in all of them. But maybe, just maybe, now that fucking nanoweave, the 20% reduction was out of the game, you would say, oh wow, shotguns are kind of stupid. And this was before they were made more consistent, aka we're gonna buff them. So you took nanoweave out of the game. You buff shotguns, so that's two buffs right there. And they're just in a fucking shit state. Look, if you're bad with a shotgun and can't kill people with a shotgun, quit playing FPS games, because the shotgun in PlanetSide 2 is the most brain dead weapon that is possible to use. If you can't get one KD with a shotgun, you need to play a different game. Not a different game. You need to play a different genre of games, because you're not there enough to be able to, like, when it comes to the point where putting a giant circle in someone's body in a game with unlimited players with no working audio. So, If you can't manage a 1 KD, then like I don't know what to say. But yeah, shotgun. The people who defend shotguns, no good player defends shotguns. No good player defends shotguns. I want you to know and understand that no good player is going to defend the shotgun. The people who defend shotguns are average to below average players who cope. And you hear this shit. Just adapt. Look, if just adapting to a shotgun means I don't enter the point room where I'm in the guy's optimal fucking range to insta kill me, uh, yeah, that's not adapting. Or I think this is in the old video. If my adapting to your decision to use this weapon is me pulling the same weapon, you have a balance problem. Hate to say it. I wonder what that guy is doing anyway. I'm sure. I think that's another thing I mentioned in that's a good video. God damn it. Uh, I mentioned that in the video too. Like the brain dead, easy shitter way to play the game doesn't keep people invested and interested in the game. And I'm pretty sure that guy had quit years ago because there's just no depth to what you're doing. Like anyone can run around with a shotgun, man. Anyone can run around and left click on people with a shotgun. It's brainless. It's pointless. There's no depth to it. And another thing I mentioned in the video, you people that assigns a bunch of fucking depth to it. I guess the moral of the story is go watch my shotgun video from like 2018. I guess it's really good. But it doesn't have a lot of views for whatever reason, but I'll link it in the description, and I mean that this time. I'll actually do it. We got it off on a huge tangent. So far I'm only 2 into his first question. And I'm 16 minutes into the video. Okay. So infill shotguns, air to ground. Air to ground is not really that annoying to me. If it's ESFs, like if I really want to, I can pull a burster max or something. Like they're still shit, but it's like and sometimes you dumbfire them and you hit them, but if the pilots are any good, they're not going to get dumbfired. But fortunately, most air to ground ESF pilots are air to ground ESF pilots for a reason, because they're fucking terrible at the game, and you'll kill a lot of them. What I've been seeing a lot more lately, like in the last month or so, is when naturally the alert continent becomes unplayable because a little Johnny Milsim outfit has decided that no one is going to have fun in the entire fucking game for the duration of the alert. I often find myself on the off continent. And that used to be like the good bread and butter. Like you'd find like 1224s, like 2448 maybe sometimes, but you'd be like heavily overpopped, and you go to those fights and farm the shit out of these retards that are trying to ghost cap a dead off continent because they couldn't basically they couldn't hack it on the main continent, and they come to the off continent to just be unopposed, and just roll down the lattice lane. You see these people do it all the time. But more and more lately, I'm finding when I spawn into these fights, there's like 2 fucking shredder libs, and it's always either it's like that grumble shitter, or these degenerate fucking zero ability players who just 24/7 sit in a vehicle like a Liberator and just left click on people who have little to no counter to them at all, like in a given moment, like. I more and more like the most of the fights I've went to in the last couple weeks, there's always like a minimum of 1 lib shitter there. And what is that? Like, and I've had multiple fights where there's 2 of them. So you're on the off continent, sitting in a fucking a wheelchair, your farm chariot, going to like, and it's not even these fights are like 1 to 12 sometime. Like I was at a fight yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was 2 days ago. I was at a fight yesterday or 2 days ago where it was me versus like 6 or 7 guys, and there were 2 fucking shredder libs, or whatever meta fad fucking infantry farming tool that the lib uses now. Really? Like, there was a fight another morning. like really early in the morning, which I gotta say, early mornings are so unplayable now. There's just way too many fucking foreigners on Emerald. It's oppressive, man. It sucks. Like every death just feels like shit. Like every interaction with these people just feels so bad. There's too many of you fucking foreigners on Emerald. You need to fuck off. God, I wish the developer had a spine. I wish the publisher had a spine and would fucking region lock these cocksuckers and get them out of here, but it is what it is. Air to ground. It's to be honest with your question, man. Like all of it is fucking annoying, and all of it makes me not want to play the game. Maxes. Maxes are less annoying maxes are, yeah, they're annoying, but at the same time, it depends what kind of max. If an NC max, like whatever, like just I guess I'll go fuck myself, I guess. But like all of it is like depending on the situation that's happening. But what you're describing here, like a lot of the times, and this is why this game is feeling so unplayable for long stretches here now, is like even the fights like I was talking about earlier, the off-continent fights with like hardly anybody at them, or they're much smaller fights, like that. Those four things that you listed there is like half the fight. Like half the people at this 1224 are infill shitters. There's 7 motion spotters. There's 3 fucking shotgun light assaults that make no audio because the sound engine designer, or the guy who works on the sound in the game, is a fucking incompetent retard. There's 1 to 2 fucking air to ground things. Once you get out of the spawn, if you're at a decently made base and you've meander your way over to the fucking point, oh, there's an AFK max with fucking 4 guys in there. Like, it's cancer. But I guess that's the order you listed them in. I can't put it in an order because they're all special and cancer in their own way. But if there was one thing I could remove out of all of that, it would be shotguns without question. Number 2, the second question here: do you think adding shotgun resistance to Nanoweave can fix how broken shotguns are right now? Well, shotguns were broken with Nanoweave in the game, which is kind of the point I was trying to make earlier when I was talking about them. I don't think I think we have to get away from this mindset. Like I've thought about this, and I considered, like, right after they did this, that maybe we should put a resistance if we're gonna make Nanoweave usable at all anymore, which it's not. It's no one. Why would you use it at all? It's terrible. It does nothing. If you maybe wanted some people to use it, you would add a shotgun resistance to it, which, to be fair, I don't think that they would ever do, because I think they understand their player base. They don't understand their game, but I think they understand their player base, and they know that their player base is full of shitters who need shotguns to do anything. And I think, honestly, we have to get away from everything that is like resistance values, all this shit. Like, I think we need to get rid of that. Just get out of that mindset completely. So I don't adding a resistance to Nanoweave doesn't address the very nature and fact that in this gameplay and gunplay environment, the shotgun as it exists in this game, especially now, is just stupid. It's just broken. I mean, it's not broken like 2042 12M full auto, shit like that. But in the areas that your shotgun is effective, it's stupid overpowered effective. And if you're having trouble and you find the shotguns are inconsistent, you're probably just fucking bad. I mean, I know that's really hard for shitters in this game to admit, but if you're having trouble killing people with shotguns in PlanetSide 2, you're just fucking bad. Nothing personal. I don't know you. I don't have anything against you. But if you're struggling to kill people with the shotguns in this game, then you're fucking bad, and you need to fix that. Find a way to remedy that. So no, I don't think adding a shotgun resistance to Nanoweave can fix how broken they are right now. I think it's a deeper problem. I think a shotgun resistance on Nanoweave is a band-aid fix for an inherent problem that the game has already had, an inherent problem that needed to be addressed in the correct way when when the 20% resistance to small arms was removed. But we didn't do that, did we? No, we removed Nanoweave. Good job. But at the same time, weren't smart enough to address literally anything that stems out from the impact of that being removed, and instead made it fucking worse because reasons. I don't know, man. I can't figure it out. I don't know. And the third part of the question here is, how long do my sessions last? What time of the day do I usually play? This has changed. This changes actually all the time. My sessions usually last between an hour and 2 hours, maybe. Sometimes they last 10 minutes. Some 10 minutes, 14 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't have the patience to sit and endure your shit gameplay. I just don't have it anymore. I've been playing the game for a super long time. I know exactly what I want to get out of the game. I know exactly what I want to do every time that I log into the game for the most part. And I'm not putting up with your candy ass fucking shit balanced, terribly designed game. I don't have the patience for it. So yeah, my playtime, my session time varies greatly. What time of the day do I usually play? A couple months ago, I was playing like super early in the morning, but honestly, the game is unplayable. Here's the conundrum. If you want to play off hours, you have to accept that most of the people you're playing against have no fucking business playing on the server, and they have terrible connections to the game and are somehow allowed to connect to a server in Virginia, even though they live in fucking Bombay, India. Number two, the developers do not give a single fuck about off primetime hours gameplay. I would argue that they don't give a single fuck about primetime gameplay as well, but definitely off hours gameplay. The continent balance, the population balance on the continent is all fucked up. You have to get into the thing where you have to play unstable versions of terrible ass shit continents, like unstable fucking Indar for 4 hours straight, unstable Esamir for 4 hours straight, unstable Oshur. Well, is there an unstable Oshur? I don't know. When Oshur comes on in any way, shape, or form, I just log out. If Oshur is the only option for gameplay, I log out. I'm not playing it. I don't care. I'm not interested. Congratulations on your tech test demo for fucking water in your 10-year-old game, but I don't care. Basically, unstable Amerish. I do like Amerish, but unstable Amerish, the center of Amerish is absolutely fucking cancer and terrible and needs to be redesigned completely. Yeah, it's just bad all the way down. The interactions with people are terrible. It's just pure degeneracy. So the early AM sessions are extremely cringe. You can find some nuggets here and there and get some farms in, but it's way more frustrating than it is enjoyable. And then lately, like the last couple weeks, I've been playing more so around more so around like 7, 8, 9 p.m. And the game can barely run. Like, I'm not talking about on my PC on my end. The game's running better for me than it ever has in my life. But the server can't handle what the fuck's going on. Stunning, shocking that a game that advertises itself around big fucking fights and putting a lot of people on the screen absolutely can barely run when you put a lot of people on screen. Server-wise, the tick rate of the game is absolute fucking terrible dog shit. The way people play, you have these fucking these weird like these weird casual outfits that get like super sweaty for like an hour and a half, 2 hours a night. It's just absolutely fucking cringe. The way these people play the game is just absolutely makes the game unfun as fuck and unplayable as fuck. So, in my estimation, there's no time of the day that is that you can have a good experience. So, it is what it is. I guess I don't log into the game expecting to have a fun experience because the situation that we have now, uh, and one of the big things that changed that the fuck happened to my lighting? One of the big things that changed here is I have to fix this. This is fucked up. One of the big things that changed here is oh my camera reset. Sick. Anyway, where was I? What the fuck? One of the big things that changed here is the spawn times. Like what happens in the game now is every single fight I go to where I'm under pop, and sometimes drastically, like the spawn I have like almost a 10-second fucking respawn time because you can't make your server run correctly. Now you're like severely impacting the gameplay of people actually playing the game because you can't get your shit together and you don't have people who are competent enough to fucking work on the things that you have available to you. Like, and besides that, like if I'm hopping around the map fighting fires, like all these shitters in these shitter outfits, man, they do the exact same thing. But I'm just faster than them, and we can read the map faster. And I don't have to worry about moving people. But these guys, like I'll go to a fight, I might have a minute and a half, 2 minutes to play at the base, and then the fucking VCats shitter platoon is drop their whole platoon on the fight, and it's just like, and it's not just VCats, it's all of these mid fit, the large fits, the mid fits, all these motherfuckers. This is all they do every single night on live is just dump their whole fucking pop on every single fight that exists in the game, except when you're actually, have a chance to fight the other faction. Very uninterested in that. It's just, I can't remember. Maybe, and some of you guys who have been around long enough will know. Maybe like I'm thinking back to like WDS, the World Domination Series in PlanetSide 2. Maybe that's the last time that I remember the live experience being so fucking terrible all the time. But I don't ever remember it being this fucking cancer. But it definitely it is, and it just if there wasn't this 1v1 outfit wars thing going on, there's no fucking chance I would have any interest in this game whatsoever. So yeah. But yeah, thanks for the triple questions, Augustino. Appreciate that, my brother. The next question is from Belly Ranks. His question is, what do you do for a living? And can we get a LexCast for at least high skill Overwatch matches? So for the first question, I work in the HVAC industry, and I do controls for a government contractor at the moment. And then for that's actually kind of a good idea. The least skilled Outfit Wars matches. First, we'd have to identify the teams in it, and then look at the schedule and see. Maybe that would be something I think about. I'm gonna put that at like a 10%, a 5 to 10% chance for that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I am interested to watch the matches, but in terms of like, I could see myself doing like color commentary on like some cast or something, and like being like a second or third guy on a cast. But in terms of like in being a straight like the number one guy on a cast, I don't see myself as that kind of person for that. Next question is from Bethesda. Basically, what I asked before: how often do people resort to attacking your character when discussing game balance instead of offering rebuttals? It happens all the time. Uh, Most of the time, like I was streaming the other night, and I had a guy, get on a it's probably some butthurt person from my stream, uh, who whispered me in game on a throwaway character with a bunch of X's and Y's, like, "Why are you so angry all the time?" It's like, well, see, like somebody instead of like it's always weird to me that there's so many people out there who are like, "Oh, you're just angry. It's got to be an act." Like, see, the problem is I have to be angry for you because you don't have any fucking standards or a backbone and you don't stand for anything and you can't argue for anything because you're intellectually incapable of doing it or you're just fucking some lazy casual shit. So, you guys need people like me. So it strikes me as odd that you guys get fucking absolutely ass hurt uh, when I'm out here like fighting and like arguing to try to and make the game to improve the game in even the smallest ways, and you have these just stupid motherfuckers that are just like, why are you so angry? Or if it's someone who's like who thinks if someone uses a curse word, they're automatically angry. Like, I have to ask you guys, are you like 12 years old? Like, what situations do you exist in your real life and everyday life where if you encounter someone who uses a curse word, like you piss your pants or something? Like, maybe I've just grown up in a different environment, you know, working blue collar jobs and being in the military and being around like real, like transparent fucking actual people my entire life. I don't know who all these fake make believe super pretend nice people you are experiencing your entire life, but it throws people off. But I've had all kinds of people like try to diagnose me with like psychological issues and say I have self-esteem issues when it or something, like I'm insecure when it comes to the game. Like, man, there's nothing else I want to do in the game. Like, I'm extremely confident in my ability and the way I play, and like there's no I don't feel that way at all. Like, I'm an extremely confident person when it comes to this stuff. I think those kind of people just have a real problem with people like me who have a big like aggressive personality that it's so antithetical to what they are, because they're generally like these quiet, you know, these little passive aggressive pussy ass beta males. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, but I find a lot of those people are like that. They're like these pussy boy software designers or these little pussy guys that are in IT. You know, they all these shitty soft skills that they have that they've never worked like an actual hard day of work in their life. Those are the people that generally I encounter issues with. It's because we're just so diametrically opposed personality wise. Uh, and you can say, well, they're more well adjusted. Well, I mean, you could make an argument for that because I don't put up with bullshit. So in a sense, like, yeah, I'll gladly get in an argument with someone. But the thing here is, when I get in an argument with you, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong, and I'm going to go through and have the discussion. Whereas you are so averse to conflict in any way, shape, or form. So you're averse to conflict in any way, shape, and form. You really have no leg to stand on when it comes to whatever we're trying to discuss. So the easiest thing for you is to call me angry and then run away. Call me, tell me that I'm mad, and then offer nothing else, and do like the zealous shit with the salty. You be like, the 17-year-old like you thought the like these like super generic like boomer fucking Reddit shitter comments that people make. Like, have the conversation, have the argument, you know. And that's why I go on all this shit. Like, I try to get out there, man. Like, when I go talk to Schacter, when I go talk to fucking Affleck, when I go talk to fucking Deeg, when I go talk to Lanzer in a few days here, like, I want to get out there and have the discussion with people. And I mean, am I going to call some people retarded and stuff? Sure. But that's fun for me. And if you don't like that, grow up. It's just a fucking word. Um, but at the same time, when I call you retarded, I'm going to explain to you why you're retarded. Okay. So if you guys are going to come at me with the why are you mad, get I see that you're offended and I'm still waiting to hear what the fuck your point is. Like, try this much to have some basis in why you're mad besides just being ass hurt and coping that you don't like me because A, I'm smarter, B, I'm better looking than you, C, I'm better at the fucking game than you, and D, I actually stand for something in what we're doing here. So actually at the end of the day, fucking keep coping and being mad. So yeah, to really answer the question, yeah, that happens all the fucking time. It's way easier for people to attack my character than it is to address what I'm saying, because when these casual gamers and these shitters, these dumbass people try to address and try to get into the argument, they get fucking demolished because they have nothing to stand on here, and it's very easy to destroy their arguments because their arguments are based on piss. Okay, usually 9 times out of 10. All right, next question is from Dan. Oh boy. Oh, my fucking my camera reset again. Sick, brother. I love it. So every time I change, I have to not do that anymore then. Okay. Man, autofocus is so bad. Stop. Take it out. Okay, this is a U.S. politics question about Roe v. Wade. Oh boy. Dan says, I'm going to repeat my U.S. politics question about Roe v. Wade. Now, a roe that has fallen, do you see Lawrence Griswold, Obergefell falling too? What's your take on states' rights versus civil rights? Finally, the reason I asked this is I felt a large amount of people in the communities of better players be at least of right-leaning. I would like to hear if this is something you might have seen too, and if so, a guess as to why. Man. The Roe v. Wade stuff, ultimately, I think you could kind of see this coming, honestly, with the fucking what's been happening on the Supreme Court over the last 6 years or so. We could see this coming a mile away, and I guess if you're gonna have a system like that, and it wasn't like they were hiding that this is something. They say the quiet part out loud all the time when it comes to gay rights and fucking, legalized abortion, contraception, all this stuff. Like, they openly talk about, getting rid of all this stuff. Honestly, the best I would say to avoid all these others like Lawrence Griswold and Obergefell is you need to get off your ass and codify it into law. You just need to do it. But I don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like, I don't know. I don't have a lot to say on this because in general, I'm not for taking away people's fucking right to choose what they do with their bodies in general. And I know there's a big subsection of this country who is ultra fucking religious and want to tell everybody else what they're supposed to do with their body because they're a magic imaginary anthropomorphic friend in the sky told them how to do it, but that's all fucking fake bullshit. So go fuck yourself. And I don't want to hear that shit. If that's what you believe, cool. But keep it to your fucking self, because nobody else, you know, fuck off. States' rights versus civil rights. Uh, Civil rights needs to be, you know, at a federal level. Like I don't think it's up to us. I don't care. Like states' rights here can go fuck yourself. Honestly, uh, you have the states that are gonna to leave everything legal, and you have the other fucking retarded states that are going to like try to put you in jail for helping someone get an abortion. Like it needs to be at a federal level, just fucking legalized, right? The civil rights can't come down to the states. Uh, and do you know why the civil rights can't come down to the states? Have you ever heard of the Civil War? Uh, yeah. So that shit needs to be done at a federal level, and fuck states' rights in that case. The reason that you asked is you felt a large amount of people in communities of better players to be at least right leaning. I would like to hear if this is something you have seen too, and if so, I don't really, I can't say. I'm not, I don't know. I know the communities that I've been a part of or am a part of are generally more right leaning. But at the same time, I think that's part of that is a case of most people in those kind of communities are a little bit older, and it is true that, or I'm finding that it's true that the older you get, and generally the more experience you have in something in life, I tend to you tend to see people as they get older get more conservative, and I think that's true. I've seen that happen in my family. Uh, I am I'm a slightly left leaning libertarian, but at the same time, there's some things that I'm pretty right on. The gun control issue. But so my opinion on like the gun control stuff is from I've been around guns my entire life. I was in the military. I worked law enforcement. I have extensive experience in firearms, in law enforcement, and all that shit. So when I come to my conclusions that I do, or my opinions about that type of stuff, it's drawing on my life experience, and that tends to align with what you see from the right. Uh, does that make me a conservative? I don't think so, because there's a lot of shit on the right that I don't agree with. Whatever. Honestly, with both parties in the United States right now, um, it's pretty bad. You have the fucking the extreme. You have the bullshit on the right, which honestly we've always had. It's just before the extreme bullshit on the right was evangelical Christian nonsense. Right, but now I would much rather run into an evangelical Christian and have a conversation with them than deal with whatever the fuck we got going on the far right. Um, and at the same time, maybe it's something you didn't really see a lot a long time ago, but in the last, let's see, around 2013, 2014, 2015 is when you started seeing this far left college, this shit that's breeding on fucking college campuses come out into the mainstream. And generally when I vote, it's either for independent candidates or Democrats. It's very rarely do I vote for a Republican on most things. But as as someone who leans slightly left, this whatever we got going on over here now is not sustainable, and it's pushing moderate people away, and it's pushing people like me away, and it is. And I have friends that they're left leaning, but they're very, very tired of this shit. They're tired of all the identity fucking politics and all this shit. Normal, not 0.1% people on Twitter, normal everyday fucking working people are sick and tired of this shit. And you are pushing them to the right. But at the same time, you have the right going like, "Oh, ha, fuck you. We're taking away abortion and all this." We're like, it's a giant fucking mess. And the extremes on either side are difficult to escape. But honestly, my opinion, if you find yourself firmly aligned completely down the list with either side, uh, I find that kind of fucking dubious, honestly. Because both sides at this point are batshit crazy on the extreme ends, and moderate people are, man, we're fucking hurting, we're suffering, we're looking for. And then you have like the candidates that are proposed with, like, it's just like uh I don't know what to say, but the the players, this is an interesting question. Like, the players in better communities lean slightly right. Maybe you're finding that because of the inherent, like, when you become really good at something, you tend to really believe in the autonomy of what you're doing, and your skill brought you to that point, and you don't want people to take away what's representative of your skill, and you're very protective over you know your little fucking domain there and what you built, and you put on you fucking picked yourself up by your bootstraps and made something of yourself in that regard. And that's a very, in this case, that's a very conservative point of view. So, but the communities that I'm in that have really good players, I tend to think they are conservative, more right leaning and conservative, because that's just kind of the environment that they live in. Like, some of the people that I know live out in the fucking sticks, and they're not in college anymore. They've been out of college for a little while, and they're getting away from all that fucking garbage. And yeah, I couldn't tell you. But in terms of my community, like the people on my Discord, yeah, sure. I mean, I would definitely say that the majority of them are slightly right leaning, and some of them more so than others. And then I think we've also got some people that lean to the left. And I feel like I kind of have to strike this balance where, um, yeah, I mean, luckily enough, like, nothing, people don't really go too overboard. And, I'm willing to let the arguments happen, but this fucking tribalism shit with the politics, yeah, honestly, I wish people would just kind of shut the fuck up about politics. Like, we need like a moratorium on fucking 24/7 news cycle politics for like 10 years. Like, everybody just shut the fuck up about politics for 10 years. Okay, stop. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what political party you're affiliated with. If that's your whole life, just same with your social fucking group and all that shit. Stop. Nobody cares. Stop being so fucking tribal. We need to stop with that kind of shit. Uh, yeah, but it's an interesting question. But I think you also would find communities. Maybe it's not because you're not part of them. I don't mean to assume, but I think there are definitely like super left fucking leaning gaming communities too. Uh, how many extremely skilled players they have in them? I think at that point you're just looking at a, maybe that gets to more of a, what individual personality traits tend to be, either conservative or liberal. But anyway, Interesting. Oh, look, my fucking camera changed again. I'm gonna have to edit this shit out every fucking time. It's so annoying. You know, you turn off autofocus, you turn off auto exposure, you change your exposure to what you want it to do every fucking time, and then the motherfucker just resets every time you change questions. So here we are, we're back again. This next question is from Euro Scumbag. Same as before. Can you believe Rel decided to add boats into the game? How disconnected does a lead game dev have to be to make this decision? Well, we've already got a pretty good encyclopedia of how disconnected from reality Rel is. So is it stunning that he? Well, I guess it follows. You know. Let's add dumbass water to the game. Let's design and make an entire continent based around this gimmick feature that we don't even have really in the game yet. Okay, now that we've put our dumb gimmick feature to attract casual players for 6 minutes, what do we do with it now? Well, we have water. We need boats. Get the fucking boats. Cue the boats in. All right, we've got the fucking boats. Fuck, we need a play space. Everything's got to. We need play spaces underwater. I mean, it just follows from like a super low level. Like, of course we were gonna get boats, and yes, he's super disconnected from reality. Are there any FPS games that seem interesting to you that are coming out in the future? God damn it. Not really. It's pretty bad. I imagine that I'll play Modern Warfare 2, but for how long? What kind of patience level will I have for that? Depends what they do. 2042 still has probably a couple seasons of life left in it, but we're 10 months on and the mouse input still doesn't work. So it's bad. It's really bad at the moment. There's stuff. You guys get super hyped about this dumb shit that has no player base. You guys, have you heard of this game? Have you heard of this game? Have you heard of this? And then you go look and it's fucking dead dog shit that no one plays. Like even more dead than PlanetSide. Like, guys, I'll clue you in here. If the FPS game is more dead than PlanetSide, it's not going anywhere. I know you don't understand this, but PlanetSide is fucking dead and not going anywhere. Honestly, in reality, if we're going to talk about being disconnected as a lead game designer, that game's not going anywhere. And if you have fewer people than that game even has, what's the point? But yeah. Anyway, time for my camera to fuck up again. Are you ready? Are you ready? Boom. Oh, it didn't fuck up. Okay. Next question is from Foobsy. What's up, man? Apart from videos with understandably valid criticism and advice on FPS games in general, and the energy you put into videos, XD, what would be your goal for the channel in the future? To be honest, I don't really have. I honestly don't. I don't wake up every day and think about like what goal do I have for the YouTube channel. Stuff just strikes me during the day, and I'll get like an inner monologue and dialogue about something, and be like, oh, maybe I'll make this into a video. Maybe there's something interesting to me that I want to talk about, and maybe other people will find that interesting. I don't have any goals of growing the fucking channel. Like I have no like number metrics. I don't think about any of this stuff. The only reason I even see it is like every time I log onto the dashboard, it's like prominently fucking displayed. Like this is everything is like totally numbers driven on this platform, like as it is anywhere else. But like I don't approach YouTube or Twitch or anything like that like trying to make a buck. Like I don't care. Like I don't need the money from doing this kind of stuff. Like I mean, in a hypothetical world, if I could just wake up and think about like dumb shit, like making a dumbass video talking about a dumb PlanetSide 2 content creator, and I could make money from that, that's not a bad deal, but I understand that that's not really a reality for me. I'm kind of a realist when it comes to stuff like this. So like, I have a job and I work and make decent money, and any money that I get from, like, I've made $0 from fucking YouTube, but any money I've ever made has come from like Twitch and stuff, and it's never, it appears in the fucking in the checking account under some weird fucking name, and it's just like, oh, okay. Like it's not it's not something I think about um at all, really. I can honestly say, like, I don't really care. I don't need that. It's just something I do for fun, and it's a way for me to creatively express myself in a way that I never really had before. Um I've honestly, I got to say, like, I've spent way more time, like, writing and learning and getting into like discussions and than any time I ever did in school, like, and stuff like that. And it's just it's interesting. I found it as a way to really, like, grow, and it's been nice to have that. But I'm under no illusion that the channel's gonna be like mega popular. I mean, it comes with the subject matter of the channel, like, and how I am as a person and all that, and I'm doing content for a dead niche game, and I am in the minority opinion, and I use naughty language. Like, there's a lot of strikes against me. But I don't care. Like, who cares? Whatever. As for energy I put into my videos, I mean, I gotta say, man, it doesn't take a whole lot of energy to sit down in front of a camera and just talk at a camera. It really doesn't. Like, uh, I mean, there's days like this QA. Like, I've been meaning to do this QA for like a couple weeks now, and it's just looking at it on my desktop, like. And it's like that with anything PlanetSide 2 related, which the majority of this stuff is going to be. It's just like you have such an apathy for it, you know. You're just like, I don't want to, I don't feel like it, you know. But anyway, thanks for the question, brother. Next question is from Hardy Shocks. Do you believe you will ever get an FPS game that works for you? With changes made after listening to skilled players instead of the usual uneducated nonsense, because I don't see that happening. Well, it's good that you qualified the statement by saying that you don't see it happening, because that period is over. That ship has sailed. Okay, Elvis has left the building on that shit. Do I believe you will ever get an FPS that works for you? Look, man, a lot of the FPS games that I play now, they work for me. I mean, they have issues that I want them to work through. I want people that work on the games, that are hired and get paid money to improve the game over time. I want you to do that. Unfortunately, most people don't do it. Or in some cases, like 2042 and the DICE experience, the game is launched in such a condition that you're going to spend the entire development cycle time of the game trying to get it to a playable condition in the first place, which is absolutely fucked. So yeah, like the games that I've, like, PlanetSide, I enjoy aspects of PlanetSide. I think I had a question like this another time. Is there a version of PlanetSide that could be for you? That was the question. I said yes, 100%. I've already played that version of the game. There's a reason I care so deeply, and like I argue vociferously for the things that I want and things that I believe in. It's because I do love the games. Like, I care about the games because they're part of what I've done and what I'm doing, and all the time I've spent in them, and the relationships that I've had with people in the game. Uh, that's all important to me, and those games, they do work for me at a certain level, but there's just so much shit that gets in the way of that. Siege is the same way. The Battlefield series, it's like watching a fucking friend die, like over the years. Man, I've played Battlefield for 20 fucking years, like, and watching this franchise that you buy every game of and that you love and you're a fan of, that has provided you, thousands and thousands of hours of learning and growth and entertainment and fun. Just watching them piss it all away. It's so frustrating to watch them piss it all away in the name of accessibility, man. Like, it's gross. Also, any thoughts on Quake Champions and Arena FPS in general? I have, like, I talked to Vert. Vert talks to me about Quake Champions. I know Batty and Leroy play Quake Champions, but I was never I was never a Quake guy, which is ironic and funny because all these people, I've had so many people that think they know anything about me that talk about, like, me being a professional. I had one person who like actually stated that I was a professional Quake player who couldn't hack it anymore and was washed up, so I moved to PlanetSide 2. I never played Quake, uh, let alone fucking professionally or anything like that. But it just goes to show you how much they actually know. I really don't have an opinion on the Quake champions, to be honest, because I'm not a Quake guy. From the outside with a very limited perspective on it, I see them with doing like the champion thing, with the characters and stuff, and to me that always seems like a scummy, shitty way to do cosmetics and shit like that. Now maybe it has some maybe interesting fucking things like added on to the bread and butter Quake experience, but I don't think my perspective or my understanding is that Quake players aren't the people that are still playing Quake today. I really don't get the sense that they're the kind of people that are looking for like a MOBA type experience, like when it comes to picking characters and doing that. They wanna fucking jet around the fucking map and bounce around the fucking map at high speed with movement and pick up fucking shit and have the routes that they're gonna run. You know, they want to play like that. They don't care about what a character's fucking abilities are. Like, that's developer shit. Like, the actual fucking players don't give a shit about that stuff. And Arena FPS in general, I think Arena FPS in general, besides like the Quake high end tournaments and stuff, that shit's dead. Like, there's not, I don't think, that much room for Arena FPS anymore, because Arena FPS is not, the soft, gated, bubble wrapped fucking casual shit that Quake, like, Arena FPS died when gaming ceased being like a niche thing. When gaming became mainstream, Arena FPS had a fucking expiration date on it, generally, because and you see it especially now and over the years, the games just get more, it's more random, it's more casual randomness shit that lets any dog shit player be a winner. And in an Arena FPS game like Quake, like, any dog shit player can't be a winner, and that's a problem. That's a problem for the dog shit player who is going to just whine and not play the game. It's a dog shit. It's a problem for whoever's trying to make money on the game, because you have to suck the cock and the teat of the casual gamer, because that there's so much money in that, man. Like, yeah, Arena FPS in general never had. And don't give me the shit about like Overwatch being a fucking Arena FPS. Give me a fucking break. Don't even start with that shit. I don't want to hear that shit at all. So yeah. And my camera's fucked up again. Great, awesome, cool. So I'll have to go in literally after every question. Yeah, it resets every time. That is so bizarre. It turns on my focus and changes the exposure of my camera every time I click this fucking next picture button. Great. This next question is from Henbo78. What are your thoughts on the impact of the attachment update some months later on the overall game, but has it also changed your ranking on any LMGs? The attachment, the Arsenal update or whatever. If you haven't watched my skill gap compression the game video, so I did 2 videos around that time. I did like an actual in-depth like talking about what I think are going to be issues with it. It's a video right before the skill gap compression the game video, and then the skill gap compression the game video. And in my opinion, there were the compensators overbuffed and given to stuff it didn't need to be on. Pushing for weird, like what they did with the advanced laser and like the short barrel shit, and like I was excited for it at first, but then when I realized what it actually was, which was a way to remove basically any felt or perceived recoil in the game, that's ultimately what it ended up being, and a way to shoehorn buffing shotguns for some reason again into the game. Just bizarre. Like the angled grip, like I see all these weird people running angled grips on like ARs, and like just the players are stupid, man. Like I wanted the heavy barrel. I think somebody asked about that later. I wanted the heavy barrel to be good, but it's not on any guns that it actually makes better. Like those guns are already pretty accurate and easy to use in the first place. Overall, like it did good. It did good for the population. Like the population figures on the Arsenal update way outdid whatever Osher did, which is a grow up and wake up reality check for Rel. But he doesn't respond to those. Did it change the overall meta of the guns? Would it ultimately make a massive difference on my my ranking on LMGs? Not really. Cuz all the same LMGs that I used, here's the thing about Arsenal update. All the shitty LMGs that I didn't want to use before, guess what? I still don't want to use them now. And whatever more variety of attachments. See, there's a problem here where the rate of fire and the damage model with the drop off is just the hard DNA of the weapon. And there's not any combination of attachments that will make me want to use that hard DNA weapon. It's just not. Like the what is it? Fuck, I can't think of it. The 659 like 143s, or like these weird like mediocre middle tier DPS really accurate LMGs. Like that's the problem for me, is because the problem for me is I can be really really accurate with the high rate of fire stuff. So it kind of defeats the purpose of using, like, if you have to use the middle of the road, like more inclined, lower rate of fire, generally more accurate stuff, if you have to use that stuff because you know, that's the way you get accuracy, that's what you have to do. Like you have to take a performance hit, and like in terms of DPS to get down to that level, and you have to use those guns. Cool. That, like, a lot of the really good players, that the really good accuracy and aimers, like we can just keep on using the high end stuff, because at the end of the day, you still haven't dealt with my ability to have huge and high hit rate at the ranges you apparently don't want me to be using the guns at. But I mean, this is a problem that I'll never expect Rel or anybody to understand. Most people doing weapons in all these FPS games don't understand. Like, it doesn't matter how many tiers of drop off you give me. If I have a high rate of fire weapon and I have an enormous hit rate at range, it's irrelevant, and I'm still gonna out DPS stuff that you have designed for range. So really, a lot of people think the Beetlejuice took a huge hit with what happened to it, but I don't know that I'd move it all that much in my rankings. The MSWR got a fucking compensator for some unknown reason. The Anchor got a fucking compensator for some unknown reason. Where did the Orion and the Beetlejuice don't get a compensator? That they're supposed to be made better for hipfire because we're still doing the fucking LMG hipfire meme that 2KD players that play Jaeger all fucking day, a completely different play environment than live, want to go and fucking spread their feces around about because they can't aim very well, they can't position, so they just shift W around and need a laser, and everything need to be set up for hip fire so they can break their hitbox and move around with the zero movement mechanics that are in the game. I mean, just shut the fuck up, honestly. Like, LMGs are bad at hip fire, and they always will be. So I think, yeah, you've heard my rant on that anyway. But honestly, nothing has really changed for me. There's some questionable decisions from the developers as usual, and there my camera reset again because I mean, awesome. This is the weirdest thing. Great. Yeah, why is it doing that? It's literally resetting all the settings on my camera. That's so strange. Anyway, that's it for that question. Next question is from Kai. Clearly, the game, PlanetSide 2, has been going downhill for many years. However, it also launched in a pretty bad state. At what point in the game's life do you feel like it peaked, taking into account all aspects, gameplay, performance, outfit, server, culture, population? Probably 2014. Like, maybe right when Hawson came out, like summer 2014. Honestly, was probably the peak point because the game had some time to get some good updates in. The game had some time to clean up from out of the gates. Have the performance optimizations. It still had a pretty healthy population. It didn't have time for them to make massive, crushing, retarded decisions. This was kind of right before they broke the game with the PS4 code merge. They hadn't had time to waste 3 years of fucking development time on construction. You didn't have all this bullshit bloat in the game, trying to appeal to fucking casual gamers. Like, I think 2014 was probably the peak of the game, honestly, and that was fucking 8 years ago. Oh God. Yeah, for all the reasons I said, didn't have enough time to get ruined by complete idiots yet. Total and complete idiots hadn't taken control of it yet. The really bad ideas for the game hadn't happened yet. With the PS4 code merge, construction was right around the corner. We had a big performance optimizations. That was a big focus the entire year previously. You still had a pretty healthy population, a lot of different outfits, a lot of people in the outfits, a lot of the interactions with people. Like, it was good, honestly. If I could go back to any point in the period of the game, 2014, probably early 2014, spring 2014 would be where I go, honestly. Next question is from Lanzer. What things would you expect to see from a value-added community manager? From a value-added community manager in PlanetSide 2. Well, we've talked about this a little bit, me and Lanzer. And to be honest, I don't really know what a community manager is supposed to do in this game. I've seen community managers in other games, like be like forum moderators and stuff like that. But to be honest, if you presented me a package of what you intended to do and what you plan to do as a community manager, I mean, that would be way more than anyone has ever fucking given, because the community managers that we've had, what exactly do they do? You know, what the community manager now, like, what does Mithril do? I feel like Mithril can just like copy paste whatever Rel says, post it as the official response to anything, and then like floats around on the general forums locking threads. Because that, I mean, the general forum is absolutely fucking cursed. Imagine having to moderate that. Uh, that's the problem. Like, I don't, as a player, like the way I am, I don't really see the need. I don't know why I need a community manager. Generally, there's maybe just all the games I've played and all the community managers I've seen just suck and don't offer a value that I value. Maybe this is way more of a casual thing that casuals care about, but I really honestly, unless you came to me and showed me a list of the stuff and I could like pour through it and see like what I would maybe get value from a community manager. If you don't show me that, then I honestly I don't really care. I mean, what would I expect to see? Like I have such a, like I said, I've seen when you see people do like a limited job where they're like restrained by something. Maybe I can't say that they've done a shit job because I don't know what they're supposed to. That's the thing. Like I don't know what the fuck they're supposed to do. I honestly I don't. Maybe I could just be stupid. I play games all the time. I played games my whole life. I'm not exactly sure what a community manager is supposed to do or why that role is important to me. I may in the very basic sense of you're part of the community. They're supposed to manage you in some way. I I don't care. Whatever. What concerns would I have if you got the job? I mean, I don't have any concerns. I'd be kind of, I can't say I'd be indifferent because if you got the job, I'd be happy for you. Because I think you're well put together in that aspect, and I think you have a goal and like a design goal in mind, and you know exactly what you want to do, or you what you would want to do if you got that job. But at the same time, I don't know if you would be allowed. Like, I don't know if you'd be able to do everything that you want to do with that job. Like, and that's through no fault of you. Uh, maybe some of the stuff that you have ideas for, somebody above you is like, well, that's not in the scope of the job. All this bullshit, you know. Honestly, I wouldn't have any concerns. For the most part, I think you're well organized. Definitely, um, you're a player of the game. I think you have a vested interest in the game. Whether or not we disagree on certain things in the game or not, I generally think that you care about the game. Uh, and honestly, maybe I don't get that from like the community managers that we've had. Like it would be, I would say that it would be nice to see like someone that the community kind of knows, like is a known quantity, uh, be in that kind of position. But at the same time, I think we already maybe we've played this experiment before with a known community quantity going into work for the company. Wink, wink, fucking wink. Like we all know who I'm talking about here, but so I don't know. But like I said, if you got the job, cool. I actually hope you get the job. I'd be excited for you if you did. Because it makes my position that I literally sit and have conversations with the community manager. That's cool. Will it get us anywhere? I don't know. But yeah, that's how I feel about that. Is that the last question? Oh, well, I changed questions here, so this actually works out perfect because every time I've clicked in the to change to the next question, the fucking camera, my camera resets. So that'll just give me time to splash the fucking image up on the screen. Give me time to fix the camera, edit that part out, and while I'm editing that part out, put the fucking question in between. So anyway, is there any way to actually have fun as an infantry player anymore? And if not, what shooter doesn't suck ass to play that isn't Battle Royale? I mean, yes. Next question. Moons, do you think the PlanetSide community is worse than the Battlefield community? I think they're made up of the same people, but like slightly differently. Because I think like there's a huge like mega casual community for both of them that often borders like mixes with the milsim shit, with the milsim boomers and all that. I think there's more milsim boomers maybe in Battlefield in the Battlefield community than there is in PlanetSide, but I think the communities are really closely resemble each other. Because you have on one hand you have the Battlefield community, which is uh, doesn't respect skilled players, is completely casual and only cares about stupid trailer features that the developers cater to. I mean, that sounds really fucking similar to PlanetSide. They have extremely low standards. Both of the communities, yeah, very limited, low effort shit gets a lot of praise from people who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. That happens in both communities. At the same time, you have a very passionate, skilled player base that is segmented into being a second class citizens or a minority group that are extremely passionate and are filled with like really cool personalities and people that make very valid points, and are willing to have the discussion and are you know definitely underappreciated by the community as a whole. Greater, I don't think these communities are all that different, honestly. And the more that I think about it, the more I think they're pretty much the same. To be honest, I mean, there's PlanetSide One goes back forever. A huge amount of time. The Battlefield series goes back a huge amount of time to the beginning of the fucking in the early 2000s. Like, there's a lot of similarities here. Um, but yeah. This is from Not Hitwrecked. Any thoughts on the new COD, Modern Warfare 2? What do you think about the COD franchise in general? Uh, it's it's hit or miss. A mostly miss. I mean, I grew up. I mean, I played console for a long time when I was a kid growing up. Uh, even when I was done, like when I was 18 or 19. I'm trying to think of what COD game was out. I think the first Black Ops was out when I was like 18. And it was on console, and I mean, it was fun. You're watching like White Boy 7th Street on fucking YouTube and stuff. And it was all in good fun. It wasn't like super sweaty or anything like that. But now I look back at that stuff now, like just watching the gameplay now and like who I've become over time, and I'm so very different from that now. So like watching that gameplay back then, it looks so fucking cringe. But in general, I think Call of Duty knows what. I don't even know if I can say that anymore. I would used to say that Call of Duty knew what it wanted to be. And I'm not really sure that's the case anymore. I think honestly, Call of Duty, they need to just take like 2 or 3 years off and just rethink the whole thing. The problem with Call of Duty games now is accessibility. It's crossplay integration. It's controller players with aim assist on PC. It's controller players with aim assist playing on PC instead of using them. Like the aim assist, Call of Duty is disgusting when it comes to the auto rotational aim assist. The skill based matchmaking is absolutely fucking disgusting. The if you're a good player, you get fucking shadow banned from being reported by shitters in the game. There's a lot of like current day. This is what the FPS game market looks like. This is the best like snapshot, and I think for a long time Call of Duty has been that because it's probably the most casual experience, and it's the most like when you play Call of Duty. Like the people that take Call of Duty seriously and play it like religiously every day, like seriously. I don't know how you do it honestly, because that game has zero fucking integrity as far as I'm concerned. Uh, yeah, I mean, I still buy them. I mean, I guess that's my fault. I'm always at this point now. You're like so morbidly curious about whether you can find a game or not that you're gonna enjoy, or just find some little piece of enjoyment out of when it comes to the FPS games. Like so, like I said earlier, the Modern Warfare 2, the new COD. I'll buy it. I'll play it. Will it be dog shit? Yeah, it'll probably be complete dog shit. It'll be inundated with casual pandering, fucking absolute trash bin system and gameplay, and then it'll just be on to the next. In terms of the COD franchise in general, I've always been way more of a Battlefield person than a Call of Duty fucking guy, but I get the appeal, like especially with the older games. I played all the older games too in that franchise. I get the appeal. Uh, yeah, I don't know. That's that's what I have to say about that, man. Object 140, opinions of the current state of FPS games in general. How much has it declined or stagnated? I've talked about this the whole time. It's really bad. Probably the darkest time it's been in a really long time. How do I deal with the current meta in PlanetSide 2 as a veteran compared to how you would deal with it as a shitter trying to improve? As a veteran right now, see, this is a hard question because as a veteran, as someone who has all the experience and time in the game, like dealing with the way people play and the way these casual outfits and these people play the game on prime time is it's frustrating for me. It's extremely frustrating for me. So I know it's frustrating for someone who doesn't have the overhead. Um, and that's why I always push back when people are like, "Well, you're proposing changes and you just want things better for yourself." Well, dumb fuck. If I make it better for me, it's going to make it better for the people that are less good as me too. Believe it or not. Uh, it just happens to work out that way. So when I don't have to deal with something as cancer, when I have the tools mentally and mechanically to deal with the things that I'm being asked to deal with, if that's easier for me, then by default it's easier for the person who doesn't have the tools and skills and mechanics that good players have. Uh, how would compared to how you would deal with it as a shitter trying to improve? Honestly, if I hate to say this, but if you're someone trying to improve at this game at this point, I don't ever want to be the person to say like you're wasting your time. But if I've had this in other QAs too, like if you're actively trying to improve and it's really something you don't really care about. Man, honestly, to be honest with you, I would love to say you're wasting your time. Spending your time trying to improve in PlanetSide 2 is the biggest waste of fucking time that you can possibly go down, like in terms of paths. But at the same time, I did that, and I was passionate about it. And granted, it was at a completely different time. But to be honest, I don't know why you would want to get good at this game now. Maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, even then. Uh, Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of the times, like I said, like with the gameplay that's being pushed and how everybody plays the game, it's just easier to log out and not deal with it. Because it's just unenjoyable as fuck. And when the game man becomes unenjoyable and not fun, I log out now. And I'm doing way more fucking logging out than I am sitting and having long sessions anymore. So yeah, I would say again, it's a personal decision. If that's what you want to do, great, good. Make sure you do everything the right way. If you feel like you're being pushed from the outside, I'll let you know right now. Like as a longtime player, and I played briefly competitively in the game, and like I've spent a lot of time talking, discussing about the game, and all this time. Stay away. Like don't fall into that hole. Don't get out while you can. Don't fall into that same hole. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it because the community will never appreciate you being a good player. The developers don't care and only cater to the worst players in the game. And you'll see that as you improve more and more and more and more and more, those two things that I mentioned, you will see crystal clear, become even more fucking exposed to you. So yeah, just save yourself the time. To be honest, fuck it. Next question is from Terminator. Why do you take down all your videos sometimes? I've answered this before. It's like apathy towards the fucking game. Like some days I read something or see something that's just like it makes me not want to be involved at all with the community. Like the way the community acts. Like I hate the community so much. Like sometimes you just want to go away and disappear. Like when it comes to this stuff. But I guess I have a responsibility to not do that because there's people that that fucking for whatever reason come to my shit and look at my shit for like I don't know, more power to them, I guess. But yeah, and just the urge, sometimes the urge to just delete your whole fucking channel and just move on is pretty strong, I gotta admit. But fortunately I haven't done that yet. Maybe someday. Question 2, are you intending on playing for any team during Overwatch? I do this all the time. Outfit Wars. No, I'm not playing for anyone. I don't intend to join anyone or play with anyone. I'm not interested enough in the game to be part of a community and play in this. I think the format change is very good. Good idea. Great. I'll enjoy watching the games. Because we actually get to see, a real competitive environment for one time ever. So no, I'm not playing for anyone. I haven't even been asked this time around. Did I play on any previously? I was asked. I think it. I'm not sure if it was the first Outfit Wars or not, but when Smalls was the leader of VCATs, he had recruited Seth Traceros, and Traceros reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of that. And I was interested, and I joined. I joined the outfit, and like Smalls made us feel really welcome, and he pushed like our content and stuff, and made us feel important or whatever. But at the same time, at the time, I was like, I didn't feel like I didn't feel like being in that outfit and playing for that outfit. First of all, I don't know anybody in the fucking outfit. I don't care. Uh I felt like, and I still feel like to this day. Now there's good responses to this, and maybe I think maybe I'm just a little stubborn when it comes to this, but like I feel like recruiting a bunch of people who are way better. I'll put it this way. I feel like if you as an outfit leader need to recruit a bunch of people to your outfit to play instead of the players that are longtime members of your outfit to give you a competitive advantage, I think what you are doing is against the spirit of the competition. Not saying that it should be made illegal or whatever, but I think just as an outfit leader or a leader in general of those people, uh, you're way maybe way too tied up with wanting to win for the name of the outfit or your ego or something. But if you really wanted to do it right, you would be able to train up the people that you have or recruit people that you would want to go to the war with. So, uh, yeah. So I that's how I felt at the time with that, and I'm like, I kind of got cold feet, and I didn't bother. I left, and then that was that. And then since then, like I think Deeg had asked me a couple days ago, are you playing for anyone? Are you interested in playing for anyone? I'm like, I'm really not. Like, cool. If people were offering me like to play, like I would 99. I don't think there's any way I would accept an offer to play. To be honest, uh, yeah. So there's that. Walid Big Boss says, "Do you like Rel?" I have no problem personally with Rel. I've been over this 100 times on this channel. My rudeness to Rel in general is not a personal attack. All the things that I say about Rel being a retard and stupid and all that stuff, when it comes, I'm strictly talking about his sense as a game designer and what he does as his job every day. I could care less about, I don't know much about the guy personally or anything like that, but I've had conversations with the dude, you know, in the last couple of years or so, and they're fine. I can have a conversation with the guy. It's totally fine. But when it comes to his design philosophy and what he thinks about, and is extremely bizarre, and I fundamentally fully disagree with 93% of the things that he says and what he wants to do with the game. But as a person, yeah, I like Rel. Yeah, it's fine. As a game designer and a lead game designer on my favorite game, I think he's a fucking disaster. So take that. Next question is from Wendingus. Question 1. As a routine underpop fighter, what factors outside of overwhelming force multiplier spam make you not choose a fight? Let's see. As a routine underpop fighter, what factors outside of overwhelming force multiplier spam? Well, that's a huge one. Make me not choose a fight. The base. Uh, there's a lot of bases that are way more playable against pop, and there are some bases that you could play against these people, if you had the right situation, like geographically and fucking being able to maneuver around the bases. Some bases just aren't good for fighting that way, and you're gonna have to bide your time and get pushed back a couple bases to get to a base that will allow you to more effectively fight the numbers that you're fighting. So definitely the base choice is one. Um, man, I guess the overall, like, what the people are bringing, what the infantry players are bringing. If it's a bunch of fucking, if it's the same retards that like half of them have shotguns and the other half are like these cringe infiltrators that are just waiting for you to get in a gunfight with said shotgun guy, and then they're gonna fucking vulture you. Like the play styles of the people it can be totally cancer too. So that can be a fucking choice. And people are like, well, why don't you just counter it? Well, there's fucking 30 of them, and there's one of me. That, these are the parameters that we're working under. I know you don't understand that, Mr. Questioner Man. Not you and Dingus, but this hypothetical person I'm responding to. I know those people don't understand that because they've never intentionally gone to a base where they're out popped and they sit in a fucking blob of retards all day long because they play with their little shitty small map and they've never seen a population graph in their life. So I know you guys don't understand that, but that's what we're talking about here. What are my thoughts on the heavy barrel attachment? I found the benefits to not be worth being easy to dome if I'm being confronted directly. But maybe it's just my positioning sucks. I really wanted to like the heavy barrel. I mean, to be honest, the heavy barrel was one of the most interesting attachments that I had seen in the patch, and I spent a lot of time testing it, and I've used it here and there. But I think the heavy barrel has a few problems, but the biggest problem I think the heavy barrel has is that it's on weapons that it doesn't really make that much better. Like the weapons that the heavy barrel is on that you would equip, I can't say to myself, you know, I wish that this. Let's take the SVA for example. That gun, I'm pretty sure that gun has a heavy barrel. I can't say to myself, man, I wish this super accurate weapon, which if you're using it appropriately, it's very fucking accurate. For the way I shoot. I can't see a position, and I've tried to, where, you know what? I need this super, super, super already mega accurate weapon that I can reliably shoot the first 4 to 6 shots in the head that I want to. I need to make my spread on this, what is it, 20% better? And what am I giving up for that? Well, my movement is I'm gonna feel like super slow ADS movement, which that's fair, that's fine. But honestly, all those guns that have a heavy barrel, I got to tell you, I'm not using the heavy barrel. I wanted to, but the guns that it's actually on, I'd just rather slap the compensator on it, to be honest. Yeah, maybe it's because I can control recoil and spread. But at some point I think the movement debuff kind of turns me off to it. And honestly, the guns that it's on, like they chose to put the weapons that they chose to put the heavy barrel on, they don't really need it, and they feel just fine with a comp instead. So I don't know. I don't use it on anything, honestly. Yeah. And it's a shame. I wanted to. I thought I'd be interested, but the way it's implemented and on what weapons it's implemented on, yeah, just can't say that it interests me at all, honestly. I wish it did. And that's it. That's the end of the line of questioning. I'm gonna probably upload this all at once, do the timestamps for it. Another fat ass 2-hour video, but sorry for the delay on this one, guys. I had a lot of stuff going on this month, but I appreciate it. I don't know when we'll do the next one. Maybe I'll just shelve it for a little while. But yeah, when I started recording this, we're at 499 subs. So thank you, all you new guys who are subbing because of the recent stuff I've done. I appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. When the next one is and what the next one is, I don't know. I kind of there's nothing there's nothing right now that I can think of off the top of my head that I really want to do. Like this, the QA was the last like big remaining thing on the docket that I wanted to get knocked out. But plan right now is to go on and have the discussion with Lanzer in the coming weeks. And maybe I do like a follow-up thing on that. But maybe we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and then maybe I do a follow-up on that. But other than that, I appreciate you guys' viewership. I have to do this actually because I looked at this. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you watch these videos, fucking subscribe, because like almost half of you that watch my shit aren't subscribed to the channel. Maybe that's because you feel guilty in subscribing to someone as based as I am, when it comes to this kind of stuff. Or maybe you're scared that your shitter casual friends will see that you subscribe to me and they'll start talking about you badly. But you know what? Fuck them. You don't have to be their friends. And if you want to sub to the channel and follow me, then fucking do it anyway. All right, I'll see you guys later.